Good evening, everybody. My name is Paul Samaras. I'm a principal planner with the city's Community Development Department. I've been with the city for 14 years, and I am the project manager for the Downtown Specific Plan Update. Thank you for joining us in this community meeting to help us plan for the future of El Segundo's downtown neighborhood. The purpose of the meeting is to learn from you, the community, and about what you like about the downtown, what you think could use some improvements, how you envision the downtown in the next 10 or 20 years. To get us started, I'd like to show what area I'm referring to when I'm talking about the downtown. And the map in front of you is a map of the downtown area that our team is studying and would like to learn more about tonight. The area extends from Mariposa Avenue to the north, all the way to El Segundo Boulevard to the south, and it faces mainly along Main Street and Richmond Street, all the way from north to south, and extends from Concord Street to the west, all the way to Eucalyptus Drive to the east part. As I mentioned, we have a team that is working on this project. This includes staff from multiple city departments, and a team of consultants led by RRM Design Group. RRM is a multidisciplinary consulting firm, and along with RRM are consulting firms in mobility and parking, environmental review, economics and market demand, among others. And of course, you, our residents, property owners, and business owners are the most important part of this team. And thank you again for joining us tonight. At this point, I will hand things off to Elizabeth Ocampo from RM Design, who will talk to us a little bit about the meeting logistics. Elizabeth?
Thank you, Paul. Well, I just want to welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we want to go over a few things regarding this Zoom meeting. The meeting is being recorded, and the recording will be available after the meeting on the project's website. Your microphones are currently muted, and we ask you that you please remain muted when you're not speaking. To speak, virtually raise your hand, which there's a button which I'll go over in a second for that, and you'll be unmuted by the meeting host. And I know that most of us are not new to Zoom, but there's still a few things that keep changing, so we'll go over them quickly. The top right corner, there's a few options. You can toggle between speaker and gallery view. And there's two icons that we can see in a minute. There's also at the bottom of the screen, the unmute and the stop video or turn video on or off. And we're gonna have the chat open. If you have any questions, you can post them there. But we're going to have breakout rooms at the end, so it will be ideal if you save your questions to the end. And as I mentioned before, there's the button to virtually raise your hand, and it's that yellow hand that it's at the bottom of the screen.
Thank you, Liz. I'm Jamie Williams. I am very excited to be here this evening. This is a project that's near and dear to my heart. I love El Segundo and have been visiting there for years. Our RM Design Group is, as Paul said, is a multidisciplinary firm. And what that means is we have a number of services all within our firm. We have architecture and landscape architecture and planning and engineering. So we do a lot of projects all the way from policy development involving community engagement through implementation, designing streets and civic centers and housing projects and commercial areas and parks. So we really feel like that brings the plans to life. Tonight, we're going to go over what this project is and why we're doing it now. But really the purpose of this meeting is to give you an introduction to the project and to start to engage you as residents and property owners and business owners in what you love about your downtown, what would you like to see for the future. And so we have interactive polling available, and we will share with you a number of additional ways that you can be engaged throughout the life of this project. So what we're doing is we're updating an existing specific plan. And a specific plan essentially is a roadmap of the future. It provides a vision and direction for a specific area. A city is typically governed by a couple of policy documents. The overarching document is about 20-year plan is the general plan. And that is sort of high level. What are the land uses? What does the mobility and circulation look like? What is the parks and rec strategies and plans for the future? The general plan guides all things under that. You can kind of envision it as at the top. The second piece that comes with any city is the zoning code. And that's really which establishes what can happen where, what it looks like, how big it can be. It's the land uses and heights and densities and other rules and regulations that apply to any private property within the entire city area. A specific plan is a really interesting and somewhat cool tool that's unique to the state of California. And what it allows you to do is take a specific area and almost create a mini general plan and zoning code for that area. It captures that vision. It talks about private property, it talks about the public right of way, it talks about mobility solutions and parking solutions and urban plazas and streetscapes. And it ends with an implementation plan that then others can come in, the city or private property owners that want to can implement what that future looks like. It must be consistent with the general plan. There are some ways you can create some amendments to the general plan, but generally it has to be consistent. It provides that customary regulatory framework as I described, and it works in tandem, but really takes precedence over the zoning code. So there will be certain things that will still be regulated by the zoning code, but it allows us to tailor some specifics for the area as we see appropriate. This project is an update to an existing specific plan. There was a downtown specific plan that was adopted in 2000 and it has a lot of great things. You'll see tonight some images of things that were implemented after 2000 because of that plan. But it's been 20 plus years. And so it's time to just make sure it's still relevant, to update it and create a direction for the next 20 years. It's important to do that so that you can attract investment and prepare for future development, and really to ensure that you maintain and enhance the vibrant existing character that's there today in a way that's relevant to the people that are now using the downtown. So this is a plan that is based on community input. That's why you're here tonight, and that's why you'll be involved throughout the entire process. We want to help understand and shape it because it's your town. We'll be evaluating the types of uses like commercial, retail, restaurants, housing, civic uses to make sure that we achieve that optimum potential. And that'll be truth tested and driven by an analysis on the market and economics. We'll also be looking at the streetscape, beautification, placemaking, bikes, buses, cars, and the like. And then we'll incorporate all of that into policies and standards with, as I said, that implementation action plan, that roadmap of where we're going. The process is slated to go through sort of mid 2023. We have so far conducted some existing conditions analysis. I'm going to go over some of our preliminary findings today, but we're really just at the beginning phase of the project. So this is where we're collecting feedback, and there's going to be multiple opportunities for you to provide that feedback. Then we'll be coming back to you with some initial concepts and ideas, and we'll be gathering input on, are we on the right track? Where do we need to shift and pivot? And then ultimately that will be put into a document, the specific plan update document, and that will be reviewed through the CEQA analysis is the California Environmental Quality Act. So it's a required environmental review process. And there'll be and then it'll come to hearings for final adoption. So the stars are a couple of workshops. These stars down here are public hearings. Your planning commission, your city council will ultimately adopt the plan, and it will be in use for the next 20 years. So we have created an exhibit and existing conditions, and I'm not going to spend too much time on it now, come back to it, but this is a plan view. I wanted to note a couple things. We did skew the orientations. Typically on a map, north is up, but because everybody's on their computer screens today, north is not up. But as you can see, there are Grand Avenue, El Segundo Boulevard, Main Street, Richmond Street. Those are the primary corridors within the plan. So El Segundo is a great place. You have a wonderful, wonderful sense of community. It's extremely walkable. The neighborhoods that surround it feed into the downtown and provide life to the downtown. There are large pedestrian walkways. There's outdoor dining. There's a civic center with a big open plaza, open green space. Through the pandemic, you explored some street closures. It functions well for multiple modes of travel. There are some sharrows, which are when a bike and a vehicle share the road. There's lovely pedestrian crosswalks, even in mid-block, so it's easy to walk around. Another interesting and unique and potentially an opportunity area is that there's a really nice alley system. And the alley system allows you to have cars removed from where the people are to some extent. In addition to that, there's very interesting topography. It's very hilly. And so the backside of a building, this is backside of Main, is, up to 2 stories or maybe even a little higher, but on the front, you get that nice downtown sort of single story look and feel. You have an eclectic architectural style. It's all over the place, but that's pretty neat. You're not going to have a fixed formula for the future of architecture. There's a lot of opportunity to do different things. And art and culture is prevalent through your mural program and other art within the community. So again, this map, we're going to do some breakout rooms later, but I wanted to orient you with a few things that are on it. One thing to note is this pink area. The only reason that's important is that your original specific plan, and I just want to remind you, this is an update. So we're not reinventing the wheel. We're confirming and evaluating and improving on what's there today. But this pink area was not in the original specific plan area. This is Rite Aid, just for reference. So we felt like expanding the project area to be a little bit more comprehensive was a good idea. The green are your alley systems that I mentioned. The P is parking, but it's interesting. The black P's are public parking lots, where the white P's are not. They're private parking lots. You have a nice bus system, you have a good intersections, and you have some what we call mid-block crossings, meaning you don't have to cross at the corners of the block, but you have a nice opportunity to cross safely in the middle of the block.
And now, as Jamie had mentioned, we're going to be conducting an interactive polling. And this poll, in order to join, there's 2 options. You can hold your phone up and scan the QR code on your screen. And it'll show a little message that you have to click again, and then you'll join the online polling. And then there's another option where you join online on slido.com. And you need to type the code that is in there. So it's 3637144. So I'm gonna give you a few seconds to join. Hopefully I can get some thumbs up on the reactions to see how many of you have joined. That would be very helpful. But regardless, I'll give you a few seconds. Okay, the first question is just to test if you're paying attention, and also to test if it's gonna work right. And You'll be able to see the results of the other attendees real time in a few seconds. So which of the following are true? El Segundo holds the Guinness World Record for the city with the most roads with hills. Second option, El Segundo is the 454th largest city in the United States as of 2015. Third option, El Segundo is the noisiest city in Southern California. And fourth option, El Segundo is home to the first Standard Oil refinery and on the West Coast. And I'll give you 10 seconds to respond.
And while we're waiting for those responses, getting you warmed up, if you are watching this video later, we're going to share with you some ways that you can participate using an online questionnaire with the same questions. So we just want to make sure that we're canvassing and getting the largest audience possible. And so you won't have the fun trivia, but you'll be able to participate and share your input. So as you can see, the recipients have said 50%. Oh, it's changing a little bit. We're getting a few more folks. Katie, you think that's a pretty good amount? What's the right answer?
It's the first one. We have some pretty sharp attendees tonight, so that's good news. So now this is part of our polling related to the project. Please check all that apply. I live in downtown El Segundo. I live within walking distance of downtown El Segundo. I work in downtown El Segundo. I shop, eat, and or utilize a service in downtown El Segundo. I own a business and or commercial property in downtown El Segundo. And lastly, I'm just curious about the project. And we'll give you again about 10 seconds to respond. Please go ahead and do so. Thanks. All right. So it seems like as of now, the option that has the most results is I shop, eat, and or utilize a service in downtown El Segundo. The second most selected is I live within walking distance of downtown El Segundo. That one's very interesting. The third one is I work in downtown El Segundo. Yeah. Now with our third question, which of the following mobility improvements would you like to see in downtown El Segundo? Improved sidewalks, additional bicycle lanes and bicycle racks, enhancements to alleyways, improvements to public transit service or amenities such as bus stops or shelters, more public parking. And I'll give you about 10 seconds to respond. Oh, there's some competition between those two options. Improved sidewalks and additional bicycle lanes and bicycle racks are at the top. And there's also the option of enhancement to alleyways. It's a third improvement that people are interested in seeing. Those two at the top remain the same. Thank you. Okay. Which of the following improvements would you like to see in downtown El Segundo? Beautification, street trees and landscaping, enhanced aesthetics of the commercial character building design, highlighted culture and history of the downtown with plaques and signage, additional outdoor and/or signage, additional outdoor gathering areas such as plazas, pocket parks, paseos, etc., or increased outdoor dining areas. Go ahead and choose your options. Which of the following improvements would you like to see in downtown El Segundo? All right, so our top 3 so far are beautification, street trees and landscaping, increased outdoor dining areas, and additional outdoor gathering areas, plazas, pocket parks, paseos. Much for responding. We'll capture these results and this video recording will be available, but this will also feed into the online survey that we have available online. And then we also have this question, why do you currently go to downtown El Segundo? We have eat, shop, work, medical appointment, services such as nail salon, hair salon, etc., city hall, farmer's market, meet up with friends and walk around, or others. We'll have 10 seconds to respond. It seems like the top selection is eating at downtown El Segundo. Second one, meeting up with friends and walking around. The third one, but also fourth and fifth one is shopping, city hall, farmer's market. And lastly, for work and for services.
So we're gonna mix it up with another trivia, excuse me. And how many businesses exist in downtown El Segundo? Take a wild guess. Hmm. 36% of you got it right. It is 100 to 150 businesses. There's a lot happening within the project area. Next slide. Which of the following uses would you like to see more of in downtown El Segundo? Shops, restaurants, entertainment options, pedestrian-oriented services like beauty supply, nail salons, or a tailor, etc., or mixed use, which is the buildings that have restaurants, offices, or retail on the ground floor, and then lofts or apartments above. And I believe that you can, yes, you can check all that apply. Give it another minute or so. Great. Awesome. Next question is a two-parter. So along Main Street only, so not within the larger downtown, but just if you isolate what's happening for the future along Main Street, which of the following uses would you like to see? Offices, medical services or medical offices, boutique hotels, standalone housing, apartments, condos, or multifamily homes, assisted living, or senior housing. These are things that you don't typically see on Main Street today. Thank you. What about in the broader downtown area? So outside of Main Street, which of the following would you like to see more for additional uses? Drum roll, Katie, what's it looking like? Same. Boutique hotels and standalone housing. What's changing? So focusing on the Civic Center for a minute, it provides an opportunity for improvements and or additional amenities to the downtown. Which of the following would you like to see at the Civic Center site? Portable food service or retail goods from food carts or trucks? Outdoor stage or amphitheater? Public parking structure or lot? Planting more trees? Or removing concrete and providing more green space? Everybody participating would like to see more green space. Great, thank you. So currently, up to 3-story buildings are allowed in the downtown. If 4 or more stories were allowed, and they were designed with balconies, awnings, storefronts, and variation in building massing, where would they be acceptable in downtown? Along Main Street, along Grand Avenue, along Richmond Street, within the Civic Center area, on Marketplace Alley, or you do not support 4-story buildings, 4-story or more buildings in downtown?
Okay, so now we have another trivia question. How old is city of El Segundo? 200 years, 150 years, 105 years, or 97 years? And 105 years is the right answer. So I'm glad most of you got it right. All right, our next question is, how do you typically get around downtown El Segundo? Walking, biking, skating, by scooter, driving, utilizing Uber or Lyft, or through public transit? Yeah, about 10 seconds to respond this. And for this one, you can check all the options that apply. Right, next up, Do you feel that Richmond Street between Grant Avenue and Franklin Avenue should be closed to vehicular traffic and redesign as a pedestrian promenade? The first option is I agree, I disagree, or I feel that this block should be closed to vehicular traffic on some occasions, such as for special events, but remain open for most of the time. And you have about 10 seconds to respond. So far, 80% has agreed, 82% agrees, 9% disagrees, and 9% thinks it should be only for special occasions. Next question is, how do you feel about the walkability in downtown El Segundo? First option, I do not have any concerns about walking downtown. Second one, the downtown sidewalks are too narrow. Third option, downtown needs more accessibility for people with disabilities. And fourth option, walkability improvements are needed. You have about 10 seconds again. Look forward to your responses. So far, 73% does not have any concerns about walking in downtown El Segundo. 27% thinks walkability improvements are needed. And 18% thinks that the downtown sidewalks are too narrow. And 18% thinks that downtown needs more accessibility for people with disabilities. Thank you.
All right, we're almost there. We have 4 more questions for you. So one more fun one. What is El Segundo named after? The home to the second Standard Oil refinery on the West Coast, named after the state's founder, George Segundo Peck, second city incorporated in Los Angeles area, or home to the second Air Force base on the West Coast. Home to the second oil refinery on the West Coast was 90%, and I believe that is correct. Is that correct? I think it is. All right. Next, the last 3 questions are about parking. So if you park once and walk around downtown, how far are you willing to walk to your destination? 150 feet, which is about a half a block, 300 feet, which is 1 block, 600 feet, which is about 2 blocks, 1,300 feet, about a quarter of a mile, or 4 blocks is a 5-minute walk, or 2,600 feet, which is about a half a mile, or 8 blocks, or a 10-minute walk. Pretty even split. There are some walkers in the bunch and some people like me, a little lazy. Where do you prefer to park when you visit downtown? On the street, in the public parking lots, at the private on-site parking if it's provided, in the alleyways, or you don't park downtown, you walk downtown, or you ride your bike downtown, or you get a ride downtown. Public parking lots and street parking are pretty even split, a little bit more towards the parking lots. How do you feel about the 2-hour time limit on parking downtown? It's too short, it's too long, it's just right, or you not use parking downtown? And then the last one, just for fun, how many public parking lots or structures are located in downtown? %50 of you guessed 3. Oh, we're not done yet. 18% guessed 4, and 18% of you got it right with 5. There are actually 5 public lots downtown plus all the street parking. And I think that concludes the survey portion. Oh, let me share my screen with you. I just want to remind everybody that this is just the initial opportunity to participate. We're just getting started. We really want your help in spreading the word, getting your the people that come into your businesses, your neighbors, your friends, your family to please participate. And you can do that by going to the project website, which is down at the bottom of the screen. It's and we'll get to it again in a minute, but it's elsegundo.org/downtown update. So visit the project website. You can drop a comment or suggestion on an interactive map, which I'm going to describe in a minute, or you can respond to the online questionnaire that's going to be, it basically mimics the questionnaire that we showed tonight so that we can call all the information together and make sure that we have consistency throughout. So this is the project website. It's just a sample page of it, but it explains what a specific plan is. We're going to be providing updates. We're going to be posting project materials. We're going to be posting when workshops and other things are happening. So please go ahead and make sure you go to this, check it out. And then we also have a really neat tool that's an online interactive map. And that you go to, there's a very long description down here. And we'll let you write that down, but we'll also have it available as a link on the project website. So you can easily just go to the project website and click on the link, and it takes you to this map. And this map allows you to come in and drop in comments or photographs or ideas on the uses in the area, the gathering spaces, things called placemaking, which makes it beautiful, mobility and parking, and any additional other comments. There's also a button for the written questionnaire that's very similar to the workshop that we got tonight. So you have 2 different ways to provide input using this social pinpoint link. So with that, that concludes our presentation and the sort of group portion of the project. There will be other opportunities to participate as we come forward. If you would like to join a breakout room, you're welcome to. There's going to be an opportunity for you to just talk, share your thoughts. We'll be taking notes and collecting feedback through that breakout room opportunity. And if you have heard enough and you want to just say goodbye, we thank you for coming, and we hope that you spread the word, and we look forward to seeing you next time.